All right, so hello everybody. I just wanted to take a minute to go through some permission settings. These become really important when we get into sharing documents, whether we create it to put out to parents or we create it for a student as a resource, or potentially we put it on a website or something like that. Or anytime we want to collaborate within our group, we have to have our permission settings correct. Let me just show you real quick how to do this. There's also some actual icons here on the screen that take you through this process as well, but this video will do it as well. So step one is to come up here where it says share. I'm going to choose that option. When you pick that option, this window will pop up, and I want you to focus closely on the bottom of this white option here. And you'll notice if it's a document you most recently created and you did it kind of in your own space, um, it'll say restricted. Now, for our purposes at St. Mary's, you have some choices. You can work in your St. Mary's Google, or you could work in your home district's Google as well. And either way, it doesn't matter. We can set the permission settings to work for everybody, regardless of what system we work in. So most of the time it'll say restricted, and then it'll say, what do you want to change? So I'm going to just click this button to activate this change. And now I need to decide what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use this drop down menu. And again, the more you play with this, the easier it gets. The first time it'll feel a little bit intimidating, like what am I actually doing? But just make sure that you're willing to take some chances here. So I really like to use anyone with the link. Anything I make for me, for you, is something that I will always give you access to. So I'm not going to hold anything back. And I think as a teacher, we have that obligation to share everything that we create within reason, depending on who you're sending it to, but especially with colleagues. So I always choose anyone with the link. The next choice you have to make is what are you giving them access to? So over here, once I say you can see this, do I want them to just be able to view it? Do I want them to be able to comment on it? Or do I want to give them editing rights? So do I want to let them go ahead and type on this? Um, Again, this is where you get a little bit of control. I want to make sure you use that intelligently. So don't give somebody editing rights like a parent for a school document because you don't want them to mess with it. But you can surely give them view rights and that won't hurt you in any way. So you can choose that. I usually like to leave it at view unless I'm sending this to students where I want them to edit it, or I'm sending it to a colleague where we're collaborating on a project together. So I'm going to stay with view. Uh, and then the next piece here, before we hit done, this link becomes really important. So you may want to hit this copy option because then you can share that link out to anybody and then you're going to hit done. Okay. Now, once you've done all of this, really, really straightforward. Once you've done all of this, then you can share that link anywhere. And if you choose to come back to it at any time, you can always come back to that link at any time. Okay. So if I want to come back to that link, very simply, I just go to share. Okay. And then now it's already set to anyone with the link can view. Then I just need to copy link. If I want to see that link, I can go here. If I want to change any of those settings, I have the ability to go back and change them at any time. So just because you give someone access today, that link is how it is today. If you choose to change that link between today and tomorrow, then that link will change. So you're still in complete control. I think sometimes people get a little nervous because they're giving some level of rights to a document that you created. And you do need to be sensible about that. We are in a world where people do take things. So um, if you're worried about that, then make sure that you're cautious with how you do this. But within our class, for sure, we want to share. Also note that in a lot of situations, if you don't share, if you don't set it this way, you may be able to see the document because you created it, right? But the majority of people outside of our group, outside of your school system, outside of whatever, it will come up with a message saying permissions not set correctly, and that the person will need to request access. We don't want to do that. We don't want them to have to request access for something. So even though it might look good to you, on the flip side, and that's where I'll come in. I can kind of look at your things from the outside saying, no, I can't see that. Yes, I can see that. And I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to tweak that before we submit our final work so that you have the correct settings so that everybody can see what you want them to see. So That's a short piece on permission settings. Again, there's a few more slides after this link that will give you the details you need in pictorial form, or you can come back to this video at any time. Thank you.